What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the finals of the most recent RMC local. It's going to be between myself on the right playing the purple Eyesmon Rush, and then on the left we are going to be having the red hybrid with the ancient Greymon. Now these are two very aggressive decks, the red hybrid being able to swing for 4 or 5 checks at a time, and the purple Eyesmon Rush being able to just go in with a bunch of rush cards such as the Conquer Promote and the Werewolf mode. So getting on into it, I started with the analog, they started with their Takuya, so we're just trading tamers here, but I was able to get Gabumon into the Eyesmon scatter mode, which is exactly what I want, the perfect stack here, and my opponent actually just ends up hard playing the Agunimon, so they don't have any rookies, and so I'm just going to go ahead and Deathclaw it away, make it so that we don't have any issues here, and then I'm going to be able to just go ahead and draw and discard. Nidhogg gives me a memory there. I don't have any Eyesmons to be able to trash here to get them out for free, but it is okay because with the Nidhogg I was able to essentially play the Deathclaw for free, and I'm able just to play out the Cerberus to put my opponent at 2. It gives them minimal memory while also setting me up for more draw discard next turn, being able to go into either Mastamon or even Werewolf mode. Won't be able to proc the analog because I don't have any sources, but that's okay. Just getting something on the board to be able to get some aggression going since I don't have the champion to play. Gonna go with the analog, trashing Takuya, and I think that was Atomic Blaster, but they do get the Emperor, so the Takuya is gonna be live once they get 5 hybrids, but as of right now they are falling a bit behind. No rookies with this list is definitely surprising considering how many Flamemons they have, as well as things like Bokomon to be able to search them out, but they're just gonna go into the Burning Greymon so that we can get something on the board, as well as be able to cycle. If they have things like the Atomic Inferno, they can make this Burning Greymon go in for quite a few checks, especially with the Takuya underneath it, so I'm gonna have to just go ahead and try to get aggressive myself. I do swing into the Blitz Omni, which is great because I think that might be the only one that they have, and so with that being gone, I don't have to worry about that. Also, separate game ender right there with the Blitz on top of the Emperor Greymon, so I'm gonna go ahead and Jack Raid up to 4 here with double Jack Raid, so that way I can play the Dead or Alive, put my opponent at 4, which is not too much memory considering they don't have anything on the board, and it does pop the Burning Greymon, so I don't have to worry about the aggression this turn. And now I have a 12k on the board, level 5, so I can swing in. I could go on top of Mastamon to be able to trash security, bring something back, which isn't going to be too scary because with my opponent not having really anything on the board and no tamers, that means that even if I went into the Mastamon here, trashing my own security isn't going to be a big deal because even if they swing 4 checks, they're not going to be able to go in for the final game. So I'm just going to start swinging in. The Elecmon is going to go down, so I get to draw 1, trash 1 here. Thinking about what I want to trash, just getting rid of another Gazimon because it's not going to be too relevant in this matchup. And now this is where I'm considering, do I want to play the Mastamon? The Mastamon is going to allow me to be able to bring back something like an Eyesmon, but it'll also just put my opponent down to 1 security, which means that I would have 2 Digimon on the board, would be able to threaten. Mastamon would make it so that if they swung over the Mastamon for some reason, I'd be able to then tap the analog to shorten their turn even more. So I am going to go ahead and pop the 3rd Jack Raid here to go up to 4. This is going to allow me to play out the Gabumon and then play Calling the Darkness to pop the Gabumon. I'm going to go ahead and grab another Gabumon here so that way I have something for raising next turn, but I mostly just want to get the Mastamon so that way I can go into this Mastamon, put my opponent at 4, trash the top security, bring back the Eyesmon. But like I said, I'm not too worried about trashing my own security because my opponent can only go for a maximum of the 4 checks this turn. With the Blitz Omni gone, they're not going to be able to go in for that Blitz there, and no Takuya means that no Burning Grey or Emperor Greymon is going to be able to come out. So they are going to go with the double Atomic Inferno here. I do believe that they only needed 1 because they already had the 3 checks, so they would have been able to just go for 4. So they could have stayed at 1 right here, but since they don't have a tamer on the board or anything, the 1 memory doesn't matter too much because they wouldn't be able to go into a Agunimon or anything. So they just go ahead and clear out my security and just basically put themselves in a position to where they're going to need a really good security last check to be able to go and win the game. It's probably going to have to be Gaia Force because I can play around things like Atomic Blaster by just swinging in with the Eyesmon first, and we see one going to the bottom anyway, so the chances are a bit lower. Ancient's going to go down. They can play another Flamemon. They are now finding all the rookies that they missed in the early game, but it's going to be a little bit too late because I'm just going to be able to swing in with the Eyesmon. Doesn't really matter what the check is unless it's Gaia Force, and so I'm going to be able to go in for game right there. And now getting into game 2, my opponent is going to have me going first, so that way they hopefully don't brick a little bit more. They do hatch this time, which means that they hit a rookie, so off to a much better start. but I was able to start off with the scatter mode, which is very good, despite my opponent now going with the Aguni in the back, which means that they can go in for the Emperor, and they do hit it right there, so it's definitely a live option right there. I do have the scatter mode, which is very good, because if it goes down, I can start to get some progress going, and it does go down, so I'm going to go ahead and drop an Eyesmon. Then I'll be able to trash, draw one, trash one, another one. I'm thinking about what I want to trash for the second with the scatter mode. Go ahead and trash the Gabumon, because I do have more rookies in the hand, and then I'm going to be able to play out a second Eyesmon, and then just hard play the scatter mode, put my opponent at 1. Now I have 3 Digimon on board, one of them being a scatter mode, meaning that I'll be able to go ahead and swing it again, and then potentially draw and trash more, and maybe even get more Eyesmon. So my opponent's going to swing, going in for 3 checks here, so going to hit the analog first, hits a Jack Ray to put me to 3, and then hits the win rate, so triple security trigger for me there, which is very strong. And then they're going to go ahead and have the Emperor go down at the end of the turn, which is going to play out another promo Aguni, so that is something that I have to be semi-worried about, but I'm going to go ahead and swing in. The Eyesmon is going to survive there, but I'm going to go ahead and Deathclaw away the promo Aguni once again, just like game 1, because I don't want that on the board. If they're going to leave it out there to be Deathclawed, I am going to have to pop it, and getting rid of the scatter mode is fine because it did live in the security. Now going up into the Cerberusmon here, I will be able to just go ahead and potentially either swing in with it, or I can just go with the Werewolf mode, which is going to allow me to tap the analog, gain a memory here, draw 2, trash 1, getting rid of another scatter mode because I have another one in my hand, and I don't need to worry too much about that. So now I'm going to go ahead and swing in. My opponent hits the Atomic Inferno, and so I don't want them to have the potential to just go in for game, and so I'm just going to Deathclaw, clear the only Digimon on the board, meaning that they have no way to get checks in this turn with that Atomic Inferno, and then I just put them to 4 with the scatter mode. It doesn't really matter how much memory they have here because they only have 1 security left. I'm going to have 3 Digimon next turn, and it's going to be very hard for them to be able to clear everything off the board. I can just swing in with the scatter mode or the Gabumon first, and that'll play around the Atomic Blaster, and once again, I don't think there's anything in the security that can save my opponent here, so they're just thinking if they can do anything to clear off the board here. With the Cerberusmon being at 9k, it's very hard for them to get rid of, if not impossible for them to get rid of with their current deck list. Not sure if they even are playing the Gaia Force. I haven't seen it. I would be surprised if they were, but I do have to try and potentially play around it. So they're going to go ahead and go Takuya, Digivolve into the Burning Greymon. I get to draw 3, trash 2. If I draw an Eyesmon, if I drop an Eyesmon, I just get to win for sure, but now I just swing in with the Gabumon, again playing around the Atomic Blaster, and go in for game and take it. And so again, that was a very quick match. 2 highly aggressive decks going at it. Unfortunately, my opponent did brick really hard that first game and was only really able to get that promo Goonie out, which did get Deathclawed, and it really slowed them down. And then them getting very close to winning the game, but not being able to finish it off. And so if they had a little bit faster of an early game, that first game, they definitely could have taken it. But that second game, the Eyesmon's rush was just a little bit too much. But if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be bringing you even more BT7 content, including matches and decklist profiles. So I'll catch you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.